All right, being as how it's Sunday,
All right.
we can stay in G for a minute. I'll do a semi-spiritual.
Music. Welcome into Higher Living.
Let it shine on me. Let it shine on me. Let the light from the lighthouse shine on me.
Welcome.
Shine.
Welcome. I like having some intro music. What's up, Angela?
Hey, how's it going, Lance?
It's awesome. How are you?
Doing well.
Thank you for coming on. I have some free time on my hands. So I thought we could maybe record a little bit and try to shine some light, like the song was saying. How are you?
Good. I'm doing very well. Me and my household are healthy. Good. And we're doing our best to maintain the whole social distancing and really minimizing contact. And I'm very blessed to do the work that I do. I am a producer for we do fundraising events for local charities, and so we haven't had any major shows canceled yet, and we're still going forward. So we're just taking care of business through wonderful gadgets like Zoom. So I've been pretty busy.
Good.
And, yeah.
And a little background. How long have we known each other? 7
years.
Is it 7 years?
November of 2012.
What a number. 7, yeah.
Lucky number 7. Lucky.
Born on the 7th. So yeah, but Andrew, just background. You gonna cough?
Yeah, I have.
It's not the Rona.
Have asthma.
You don't have the Rona.
No, I don't have the Rona. I have asthma, and it's been snowy the last couple days, so being indoors has been kind of rough on my breathing. So Please don't worry, I'm not sick.
I know, but don't you guys have somebody in your complex that is positive?
Do, and we have one person who is in self-quarantine so that she can go stay with her parents through the rest of the quarantine. They're older, they're in their late 70s, and they're high risk. So we do have a couple people in the building, and it's been amazing to see a community of people who were kind of anti-community, and we're all sort of taking turns wiping down elevators and doorknobs and things like that. So, I'm definitely seeing the bright side of this situation that we find ourselves in.
Aren't we all? And it's happening everywhere. And, just a little background, like we connected on Twitter, I think it was. And when I first did the first podcast back in the day with an unnamed person.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But like, and yeah, we got to hang out together, but like you and I both have felt strongly, something massive is going to happen in our lifetime that changes everything. And I've not really talked about it until now. And your grandmother did as well, right? Didn't she predict? Yeah.
She did. And the interesting thing about that is that she forgot about the, how our millennia, it says, oh, well, it's a new millennia. It's the year 2000. Well, actually, there's a 20-year difference, and I can't recall why, but if you look it up on Google, there's a scientific explanation for this 20-year time gap in the shift between millennia.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
And she missed that 20. She was we'll call her a metaphysician. That'll be a good title for grandma.
Okay.
And she was not a mathematician, so she didn't factor in that time period. And she thought it was going to happen around the year 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so afraid of this period of time that she died at a rather young age. She died just a week before her 69th birthday.
Wow.
Now, to give this a little preface, my dad, my parents got they were high school sweethearts, got married when they were 18, had me when they were 19. So he heard all of the stuff that, oh, your grandma's crazy, da, 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 da. And about 6 months ago, he was like, oh,
yeah,
she was right.
Yeah.
She talked about the internet. She talked about, the money. She accurately predicted the euro and quite a few other things. And she talked about this period of time that there was a lot of chaos that was coming our way, and that a lot of people would not be able to handle the energetic and spiritual changes, because it's not just humanity that is going through these changes.
Nope.
The planet is also evolving, and you can see that just by looking on, like we were talking before we started recording about dolphins and swans being in the Venice canals again. And hey, I'm half Italian. That's a big deal. Like, nobody in living memory has seen that. There was a mythology around that. There are people like, no. And you would hear stories from, oh, well, my great grandma, she said there were dolphins in the canal. Or like, well, the only thing floating around in the canals these days are, turds. But, but as you notice, since they've been on lockdown, it's the water is blue again, and there's fish in the water, and the swans are coming back, and like that's not anything to be afraid of. We're all getting to connect back to each other, back to the earth, back to our families.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this may sound a little generic, but like it's important. It's important to have that awareness that we are all connected. We are all related to each other, to the crickets, to the stars, to everything. Everything
We're all
around.
walking each other home, as Ramdas says. We are.
Absolutely.
We are. And we've been so divided over politics, religion, race. Like, yeah, it's time for a reset. And I know that these things must happen. Things must come to pass. I mean, it's time, because we can't sustain the way things have been going.
No. If there is one thing that I can express that I learned from my grandmother, and something that she did, as I mentioned earlier, is that she was so afraid of this time because she felt, I was born and raised in San Diego. There's a strong military presence. There was always this fear that we could be under attack at any given time. And I'm still kind of hearing that I'm hearing whispers and corners and from friends.
I've seen mobilization 2 weeks ago, just out of the ordinary, like in places that I've been on a regular basis for 15 years. And all of a sudden, and I saw a post today, somebody showed like a train in Miami with like tanks and shit coming in. And that's our, that's where we have to control our thoughts and not go to the fear place. Everybody's so afraid right now.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because scared people are easier to control and manipulate. It's a psychological truth.
Yeah.
And so, I got a very powerful lesson over the last couple of days. And I had the realization, this true understanding, that if you ask, it is given. I asked for a miracle for a friend of mine. His dad's been in ICU for a week.
Mm-hmm.
He'd had 2 tests. They hadn't come back yet. They finally got the tests back yesterday. Both tests were negative
for awesome.
Coronavirus. So now they can continue treatment for whatever it is that he has, and his family can come visit him again. Like, that's amazing. I was so blown away by the power of asking simply for a miracle, not asking for, I want this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. No, the universe and the collective consciousness knows what we need. So I asked for it and I got it. That's how powerful our thoughts are. So if we are in a place where we have the potential for fear or the potential for love, which ones are we going to choose?
Yeah. Love wins. Love always wins.
Always. Love is the answer.
Yeah. There's reasons that there's so many songs that go that way. You getting comments from the peanut gallery?
I didn't hear it, but I was just like, okay. He's like, oh my God, I've never seen this new age side of my girlfriend.
Hello, Michael.
Mitty says hi too. He's sleeping.
Hey, Mitty. That's awesome.
Michael.
I've noticed, I mean, animals have acted different, you know, like I feel that a lot of people have, not just people, but animals have sensed this is something that, you know, there's never been anything like this that happened with anyone that's alive.
No, it's miraculous. It truly is. It's a word we don't use enough.
Yeah.
What we are experiencing right now is a true miracle, and that's not me being Pollyannish. I'm high risk because I'm asthmatic and I have a autoimmune disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'm still calm.
Yeah.
Granted, we wash our hands properly. I'm spraying down my door every day and my light switches.
Do you have toilet paper? That's the most important question.
Hey, I have 2 months worth of toilet paper.
Jesus,
that's what we buy every time we run out of toilet paper. So, you know.
No, and I see that, like, people, you know, like, we went to initially panic phase, and I sense it. I was out today running a couple of errands, and, you know, going to the store and seeing people with masks on and gloves, and you can just feel the fear is palpable right now. It's palpable. There's a lot of unknown, and we as humans hate change. We hate change because we like to control everything. Well, it's going out the window. And the quicker you give up control, the quicker that you can allow what's next, what is to enter our lives, you know?
I'm excited. I'm excited for the things that I see. And you know, I was in South Dakota in November, early November, and I got a chance to talk with some spiritual teachers that I really, really value. And we talked about it. So they had an understanding that this was coming before anything came on the news. So I was kind of like, something's up. And interestingly, I have not been sick for some time, but on Christmas Day, I got knocked out with bronchitis. And that cough you hear is bronchitis and asthma, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've had no choice but to be inside. I've been sick. Yeah. So I've had almost no contact with any of this. And it's just been really interesting. And I remember the conversation and I was sharing with them that I was really excited about what was to come. And yeah, there's going to be about 18 months of let's say changes.
Yeah.
Newness. And you know, we're kind of stupid creatures of habit. It'll be uncomfortable if we hold on to the understanding of the way things were. If we let go of it, this is a very exciting time to be alive.
What we resist persists. Yeah, you've heard me say that a few times. I stole it from Wayne Dyer, but it's true. It's true. And, you know, like, I feel like I'm blessed to be where I am at this time. And I feel like everyone that is alive right now is alive for some role in this. But just to see people are really, like you said, starting to get outside more and commune more. Of course, social distancing, but still, like, you know, people are starting to give a shit about other people. And that's what's been wrong with our planet. We've been so locked in our own game and what, you know, like, about us and our thing, and, you know, like, focusing on ourselves. This is changing things, and there's a lot more changes on the way. I mean, I agree with you. And I, you know, being a finance guy and even watching that documentary, and it was very, very foreshadowing. What's the right word? The Russell means but about just our economy has just been propped up, and things cannot sustain the way they have been. As bad as the virus is, and I don't, like you, I'm glad that there's change because our world needs it, but it's gonna be painful for a lot of people. And we're a consumer-based economy. Pretty much everyone is at home right now. I don't care if the government sends out $1,000 checks or whatever. What the hell is anybody gonna do with it? You know, like it is time to be open to what's next. I feel that deep down. Whatever's next, it's time to be open to it.
I agree. Yeah, it's change is only hard if you hold on.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've learned personally, professionally, and spiritually. We often say seek therapy, for example, or start a new spiritual practice, or we're doing something. We start exercising, and we buy a Fitbit and start counting calories or whatever. We start making those changes, and then all of a sudden we stop because we're afraid even what good changes will bring to us. We want to stick with the devil we know. For some reason, that's how our brains, our limbic system has us hardwired. So it's really important to recognize that, hey, I'm experiencing a change. Difficult. All right, well, start listening. There's tons while we still, while we have it. Take advantage of, YouTube, and, if you have Amazon or, iTunes, start listening to positive things, positive messages. There's tons of binaural beats and meditation.
Asleep to that, yeah.
Music, all kinds of things that can help us raise our vibrational frequencies and think more positive in a natural way. Hey, we don't have anything else to do. It's not like we're going to work and, spending 3 hours a day commuting and all these other things. Take the time. You have kids, get them involved in their spiritual practice that you're readapting yourself to. We all have this in us. We're all spiritual beings on a human journey, and it's 100%. Really important that we get back to that.
Yeah.
Because then just by vibrating at a higher frequency, the other things, the worries, the concerns, the fears, they all fall away. Then you start to see, hey, well, maybe the National Guard is moving. But guess what? We don't have enough hospital beds. We don't have enough respirator masks. We don't have enough surgical masks. We don't have a lot of things. But guess who does? The U.S. military.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to come out no matter what. And unfortunately, you've got a lot of people in this country right now that believe that this is a conspiracy. This is Agenda 21 or Agenda 2020 that some people call it now. And the reason I had asked you to watch that particular documentary was to show you like the energy that's behind it, but also places that it's happened. Yeah. And once you have that awareness that it can go dark, if we all work together, we can stop that. We can create the world and the reality that we actually deserve and desire and can achieve.
Love wins. Love is greater than fear. And, like I did a video on it the other day, but like, me, I bailed on the news years ago and I got back into it. And like last Friday, I was like almost at a panic level. You talked to me. You're the one that calmed me down. I was all kinds of like, holy shit. And if we focus on those type things, if we focus on the news, where our attention goes, energy flows. I believe that wholeheartedly. And you can't avoid hearing some of it, but if you're sitting in front of your fucking TV waiting for the next briefing, the next news story, and oh shit, they're locking down San Francisco. I'm not in San Francisco. And if, maybe that happens here. So what can we do about it? We have to, this is a time for us to take action. And the only time we can take action is when? Now. We don't know what the next now is going to be. And there's so much collective fear, there's a lot of unknowns. And I mean, my concern with my finance background and what I know about it, this is a consumer-based economy. Like everybody's like, oh, I can stay at home and blah, blah, blah. Well, if your company's not making money, it's going to be hard for them to pay. So we have to be open to radical change. And I just think, like you said, the earth is resetting. The earth has always won. It's been here much longer than most people think, A lot of people think it's 2,000 years old or no.
It's 5,000 years old. It's like 450 million years old.
Maybe. We don't even know. I don't know. But none of that matters, but it is time now for us to be present and to learn to get back to being human beings.
Yep.
Not selfish, not what can I get? What can I accumulate? I'm better than you. It is time for us to see ourselves and everyone else. And that's what we're here for. And, I texted you earlier and I truly believe it. And everyone that's listening or watching this, I believe that we choose our incarnations. I believe that we come to earth for a certain time. If you're here, if you're watching this, you're here for a reason. Whether you believe it or not, that's fine. But I do feel if you're here and it's happening right now, you're here for some greater purpose. So you can live in fear or you can shine your light higher, raise your vibration, focus on good things like you're saying.
Yep. I firmly agree with you. You and I met online at a time in my life where I was going through that major upheaval. And if I recall, you were going through quite a bit yourself.
I was.
And
have been through a lot since. A lot since. Yeah.
We've always had each other to kind of go, oh, wait, no. Like, last week you were like, nah.
I know. Briefly, but yeah, it got me.
You're at a 10, you need to be at a 2. And that's kind of how things have gone. And so you and I have been through some of these challenges that our people are facing now. So we have some survival skill sets. So we're 5 minutes ahead of everybody else. Not much, but
yeah,
enough for us to be having this conversation and going, hey, we recognize that there's a greater purpose. Humanity has been blessed with a second chance.
Amen.
I'm not Christian, but it even says that in the Bible that, if you do things the way you need to, you'll get another chance. And look, we're getting another chance, guys. So
yeah. And you said that earlier, asking you shall receive. That's straight out of the Bible. And I was raised Christian, and I've read the Tao Te Ching, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita. Like, it's the same song. It's universe. One song, man.
It's one
song.
Something very interesting too, since you brought up universe and one song, my teacher in South Dakota, she's a very, very powerful singer.
Yeah.
And she was giving me some singing instructions when I was there in November. And I found this to be very interesting. And people who know music will be like, oh yeah. So they changed the vibrational frequency. Sorry, that's my very old dog.
Does he have the Rona?
He's just old.
Oh yeah, dogs don't get it. I know.
Now you get why I posted the Chihuahua.
I know. Oh, that was yours that you posted. I can't even keep up with it. I've had so much fun just sharing laughter with people.
It's been good to make jokes. But anyway, in the 70s, they changed the frequency of A. Mm-hmm. So prior to, so sorry about the dog, guys. Just send him some love. He's 14 and he's an amazing four-legged friend. So, so the frequency for A used to be 432. And now I could bust out my chromatic tuner and show you A is now at 444. And so there's been a change in the vibrational frequency of all of our music. That means the new agey stuff, the religious stuff, the pop stuff, the classical stuff, all now resonates at a different frequency.
You got me into that, like even binaural beats, and I will go to sleep listening to that. The Schumann resonance, which the earth vibrates at, nature vibrates at. I mean, that's what this is about. I think this is forcing us to get back to what we're supposed to be.
Yes. And that was her way of expressing the change in vibrational frequency. So I've been playing with that, and it was really interesting. The song I picked, because I do sing. I am a ceremonial singer, and so I started playing with that with a modern song, and I chose it was a Roberta Flack song.
Okay.
And then Lauryn Hill did it later in the 90s, right? And I always favored the Lauryn Hill song. Well, that song is in 4/4/4, and it's power. It's just straight power. She just shoots out that frequency at that level the whole time. But if you listen to the Roberta Flack version of the song, she goes through the scales.
What is the name of the song?
Starting at 432. What's the name of the song, Michael? I can't grab it right now. My head's not on that type of.
You can send it to me later if you want, but I want to check it out.
You can put it in the notes. I don't feel like singing it right now. So, but I found it very interesting because I played with it on both sides, and it's a pop song.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's interesting. So it was that particular song that I've always loved. It's like, oh, and I saw the difference, and I felt the difference in the resonance inside of me, in my heart.
Yeah.
The vibrational frequency changed me.
It's everything. Like, have you ever looked at that I want to say Schumann resonance. What is that scale? Hang on, I've got it here.
The Fibonacci sequence?
No, that's awesome too. And like Michael's art, and I need to have him back on about that. Let's see. Not discussing that. Jesus.
Jackass.
Correct. I'll own that. Forgive me. Hang on. This is great. Isn't this great for everyone to be watching right now?
I know, I see that, and I'm really sorry.
Michael's art is badass. Here it is. Oh yeah, the Hawkins scale. There we go.
Oh.
The Hawkins scale. But it talks about, I mean, if you can see that, like, this is our thoughts, this is everything, and like how we resonate and what we think, like look at the energy vibration. We don't realize that. We're so, like if you're thinking guilt, shame, grief, fear, you're so far down the scale. And like you said, whether it's music, whether it's getting out and taking a walk or helping someone else, whatever you can do to practicing gratitude. I never mentioned that shit. Raising your vibration, whatever is super critical right now.
Absolutely. So I did look it up because it was in my search. It's Roberta Flack, "Killing Me Softly," and then Lauryn
"Killing Me Softly." Yeah.
Redid the version, and the reason I'm showing, it's something that people can look up. It's familiar pop music, and you can hear and feel the difference in that vibrational frequency.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by that because I was kind of like, I've been studying music since the age of 5. Like,
yeah,
what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, a little bit of research. Yeah. So it makes a difference. So
it does.
Whatever is going to, if you want to check that out, please do. If you want to look up the Schumann resonance, please do. The Fibonacci sequence. All of these things are very, very important right now.
Yeah.
And you're not going to hear that in a lot of other places.
CNN's not reporting that?
No.
It was a joke.
CNN keeps announcing the winners of primaries 2 days before they happen.
I know. Yeah, I'm so out on news. And that, it's just time. People can do what they want to do. I'm not here to tell people what to do. But it is time that we come together. What other advice do you have?
I would have to say, in addition to working with music and vibrational frequencies. If you're lucky enough to be a musician, that's a great outlet, because a lot of times, I'm a performer as well as a dancer. And, the most beautiful thing that I'm experiencing right now is the ability to listen to music for hours for no other purpose than enjoyment.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to listen to a whole song in 10 years unless I'm rehearsing to it. And then I listen to that one song 500 or 600 times. So yeah, it's been great. Like, I think today one of my goals is to sit down and listen to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band.
Ooh, good.
That's one of my favorite albums of all time.
It's a great album. The Beatles got some stuff. They got it. A lot of people have. It's funny looking back. I mean, all we need is love. How true is that? How true is that?
Yes, and they did, especially from that album forward, the Beatles did a lot of experimentation with the things that we've brought up about the different resonances.
They also ate acid too, which cracked their brain and killed their egos. Yeah. It has a way of doing that.
I did it the natural way by starving myself for a few days, but hey, if you have the opportunity to fast, if you have the opportunity to take even micro doses of the things that you just mentioned, or because we kind of shouldn't take higher doses of those things if we're by ourselves. If you get what I'm throwing down there,
I do.
It's medicine, and it's important. This plant medicine is so important that the state of California is on a shelter-in-place alert. And they are still leaving the cannabis pharmacies, because they're called pharmacies out in California. They are being left open as essential.
Yeah. And these are medicines that come from the ground, not from big pharma. Yeah.
Yep. And I will say that I am a huge proponent for cannabis as medicine. As Lance knows, I was dealing with major seizure disorder, and I have not had any seizures in 9 months after taking CBD consistently for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I don't need it. At this point, I no longer need it.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while I'll take a few drops if I'm, overdid a workout or, something of that nature, but I'm no longer even needing daily plant medicine.
Yeah.
So it is valuable, and it should be looked at and researched. And, I'm really blessed to live in Colorado, where I can go to a doctor that has had specialized training in cannabis medicine and can give you a prescription for exactly what you need to take. It needs to happen everywhere, but in Colorado, doctors are allowed to prescribe CBD or THC for their patients in lieu of very horrible, toxic, and addicting things.
Yeah.
So there's a shift in the vibration right there.
It is.
And I'm pretty proud to live here and to be a part of that. And whatever's going to lift your vibration, it's important.
And that can be done, I mean, definitely without substance, I mean, but there's medicine out there and I believe in that. And I'm blessed. I'm 46. I don't take any pharmaceutical meds. I haven't gotten sick since 2011 or 2012. But like our thoughts are very powerful. And now is the time that we have to choose them wisely. So.
Super.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's been quite a while since.
I know, right? I know. We should do this more regularly as long as we have the ability. So.
Yeah. As long as we all still have electricity.
I know. Electricity. Yeah, exactly. And whatever is ahead is ahead. But if we focus on right now, we can deal with what happens next then.
I have to say that if I could finish with one final thought, is that
mind reader. I was going to ask you that.
Sorry, I have that habit. Is that focus on what you want and you will get it. So if you want to be healthy and you want to live, you will get that. And you know, there's a lot of things on TV that we could watch. The Walking Dead, which, you know, yeah, I've seen the first 9 seasons. I get it. That's not the reality that's coming.
Yeah.
So don't focus on that, because if you do focus on that, you will get that.
Yeah.
It's really important to focus on the things that you want. Raise your vibrational frequency. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop eating Doritos. I don't know why people all they do is buy Doritos, bleach, and toilet paper. What are y'all doing?
Avoidance mechanisms.
Huh?
Avoidance mechanisms, you know?
Oh, that's true. That's very, very, very astute. You know, just be very mindful of what you're putting out there. We live in a time where all the gateways are open. Again, these are teachings from my grandmother. These are gateways that have opened. They have been told they were going to be open since the Mayans in 2012, and all these gateways keep opening up. So right now is the most powerful time in a very long time for us to be able to truly manifest who we are, who we want to be as a humankind.
Yeah.
And the people in power want to keep us in fear so they can continue to control us and continue to create a reality that is not real. So
wonderful words. Well spoken. I agree.
Best thing you can do is be happy, make love, take walks, get some fresh air, laugh with your kids, you know,
help somebody else.
If
you have 800 fucking rolls of toilet paper, see if anybody else needs any. Toilet papers.
Swapping all kinds of things.
I know, right?
Building,
you know? I know. Yeah.
Whatever you need, peeps.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Yeah. And that I think deep down, I feel is going to be the most beautiful thing to come out of this. There's going to be a lot of suffering. There's a lot of change, and we're forced with a lot of change. Things aren't going our way. We can't control everything. Sound like Chris Farley with the
I live in a dead.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Be blessed. And let's do this more often.
Absolutely.
Don't get the Rona.
No, you either, man.
I won't.
All right. Namaste.
Namaste. Take care. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Great talk. And I'll be in touch. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Lance.
Goodbye.
Bye.